Thank you so much for that. What a fantastic day that's been. I loved some of those sessions and the energy that came from them. And I hope you had a great Clued Insight 2025 as well. Well, giving the opening keynotes was very much about painting a picture of the way that we're thinking about Clued In, where we're taking it, the way we're thinking about how AI plays a role in our ever-changing industry, and we are of firm believers that based off some of the things you've heard today and some of the things you've seen as well from product demonstrations, you can tell that AI is and will continue to just change the way that we work. And some of those will be absolutely game changing, and some of them will require us to evolve in the way that we work. So in this closing session, I wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about you, our audience, our customers, our partners, and what they're saying about Clued In and how it plays a role in their future as well. So I, for one, had a fun day. And although a lot of work has been put into this from our speakers and from those that helped them prepare, and I want to thank everybody who took a session with us today, but also thank you, the audience, for coming along on that journey with us as well. It started with, of course, the opening keynotes where we talked a lot about how our focus is going to be on how we bring AI and the domain experts together to really solve that complex part of the supply chain of over here, the people that actually are the experts on the data, and over here, the teams that are trying to do the technical tasks involved to get that data out into the business. So that harmony is where we will be spending our time and focus on. We heard from Felix, the head of data at Sega, on experiencing their game-changing moments and how this really will not only change the way they did work today, but what opportunities it opens up in the future for new channels, new opportunities, and accelerating the onboarding of those as well. From the product team, I think what was obvious is that virtual agents are really the future of Clued In. Having that virtual team, more hands on deck, solving one of the key challenges in any data initiative is usually I always need more brains. I always need more hands on deck, fixing data, finding issues, spreading the policies, spreading the good work of what we're doing with data as well. And then, of course, we heard from our partners as well, solving complex businesses challenges, sometimes the largest and most complex businesses in the world, and what wins they are getting with putting this foundation of data in place. Now, of course, at Clued In, 2025 is the year of the customer voice for us. It's about making sure that with these AI initiatives, with this acceleration that's happening, that they are the key voice that stands out in our audience. Here are just a handful of customers that have been having great experiences and success with putting their data foundation in. And this is just one more vote of confidence for those of you watching that are also looking into how to solve your challenges by putting a good data foundation in place. We still maintain great ratings across the main channels that we surface ourselves on, of course, the Azure Marketplace and some of the analysts as well. I want to hark back to one of the sessions that I hope you made, but if not, I would say that if it didn't stand out in the session with Felix, I had such a nostalgic feeling with Sega as one of our customers, the opportunity to our team to work with a brand that we all grew up with and produced a lot of great moments in our childhood, or depending on who you ask. Um, but their case for me is one of the best cases I've experienced of where AI made a significant, real, and production value add. Um, in a world where we're all completely aware of the amazing power of this technology and we use it on a daily basis, to have it running in enterprise use cases on enterprise data with the rigmarole and the guardrails that are needed when this data is used for invoicing, payments, automation, decision making, forecasting. I really still see their case as just um, um, one of my favorite cases of the year where AI played a key role. So you can imagine the challenge, and you heard Felix talk about the challenge as well, in that Sega, they have their products selling on all different types of channels. They have that challenge you can see in the top right hand corner of one of their games is sold on a particular channel. It's localized for the language. It's even localized for the names of the products. And that challenge of being able to almost keep up with the pace of sales and which product was actually sold in the end. And this is a challenge that is actually felt by the majority of consumer goods companies as well. We talk with a lot of companies in this space, whether it's Walmart or Target, um, uh, that obviously sell so many different brands from different vendors. They have to essentially provide that POS data on these different channels. And you can imagine at that point, it's kind of a bit of a mess for everybody involved, not only the actual brands like Walmart and Target, but also all the vendors receiving transactions in all different types of formats, all different types of languages, changing on a regular basis, new channels opening up all the time. Our ability to resolve this with a quite high automation and percentage, but also involve their experts on the different channels when AI wasn't good enough, when the inbuilt fuzzy matching wasn't good enough. It really closes that loop and allows them to scale this out into different channels as well. So for me, at least, it goes down as one of my favorite use cases for the year, and how AI can make a tangible and real impact in production. Um, we are seeing such a surplus of use cases where MDM and data quality is playing a role today. As I alluded to in our opening keynotes, I have the luxury of being able to spend time with executives at large businesses. And these are the types of discussions that we're having. It's how can I improve my operational efficiencies? I've got a big ERP migration. How do I make that simpler and less tedious and less costly? And how do I not blow out the time frames of that migration process? How do I handle mergers and acquisitions? Many of our customers have come up through this organic mergers and acquisitions strategy. And as you can imagine, different systems from across the different businesses, planned differently, implemented in different systems by different people. The idea to somehow fit this all into a predefined enterprise MDM model just didn't and wouldn't work for them. So that ability to know that onboarding unforeseen systems and dramatically making that process easier and faster, you can imagine for the types of companies that have an M&A type of strategy and growth, how important it is for them to onboard the systems and the operations and the data of those businesses as quick and seamless as possible. It's amazing that to date, in amongst our customers, one of the big wins touted and vocalized back to our group is just the improvement in supply chain of data was one of the big wins. Moving off, using passing Excel sheets around on email attachments, moving to something streamlined and auditable, and was just an instant win. And this has meant we've invested in making sure we are, providing tooling like our Microsoft Excel plugin, that those that are comfortable in working in that environment can do it in a way that still adheres to all the process and the control we want to come from a good governance process, while providing that level of, this is not Fort Knox. Data doesn't get locked up and it's hard to get in and it's hard to get out. We really want to make that data really easy for insight, but also proliferation and discovery. This is why we've integrated with tooling like Microsoft Purview and the Power Platform. It opens up that ecosystem of what other systems can we talk with, while enforcing that level of the MDM system, the data quality system is still the place of the source of truth. Making sure that's available in the right way on those channels is really our job, and why we focus on the federation piece as well. We've seen a ton of use cases around the integrity of financial reporting, and these are complex situations. And as we all grow as businesses, it just gets more complex to manage. Multiple different vendors and suppliers, legal entities sitting across different businesses and countries, things like mergers and acquisitions, complicating the kind of web and network of partners that we interact with, maybe to build our products, to fill our supply chain, to deliver our products. This web is not getting any simpler over time. We have seen an influx of CluedIn being used in the financial reporting parts of the business to make sure we're reporting of high quality data, and integrating with services like Dun & Bradstreet, Moody's, Open Corporates, LSEG, just as examples, to make sure we're providing those integrations into sources of the data, is how we're streamlining this for some of our customers. So for those of you who would know us, you'll know that we've always had this great native connectivity and integration with Microsoft. And this really started around 2021, when CluedIn was invited to be part of this Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform ecosystem. What a mouthful. And really it was because CluedIn had a lot of that native integration already, and very much filled somewhat a chasm or a void that existed in that Microsoft ecosystem. We had good integration tools, we had good BI tools, we had good app building, we had good workflow, we had all of this surplus of great technology. Yet what we missed was this core foundation of, when it comes to data, how do we involve the business? And from there, becoming a recommended solution from Microsoft, full integration into services like Microsoft Purview and Microsoft Fabric, the plethora of Azure data services like Azure Data Factory, Power BI, things like SQL Server, Cosmos DB. In addition to this, integrating with the Power Platform, so we could get best of breed support for workflow, for app building, for interacting with the data from other parts of the ecosystem, even outside of Microsoft. And of course, being first to market with the integration to Azure OpenAI. And this really set off a new milestone in CluedIn's product and the lifetime of the company as well, realizing the importance, the significant importance of how AI will play a pivotal role in the future of CluedIn, in the future of data management, but also in just the way that we work with data as practitioners in general. Of course, last year, we introduced not only our Copilot, but also our virtual agents. And we very much see this as closing off the kind of circle, if not the kind of flywheel of how we work with data, providing, what I would say is described as that final tool on the tool belt where we have the automation coming from our AI rules. We have the co-pilot that is that human buddy, human, large language model interaction. And then we have the virtual agents that are running in the background, an extension of your team doing a lot of the groundwork and the research of how do we get this data pristine? How do we get it ready for insight? The domain expert acting as that person that stamps their responsibility on the decision. And therefore, we've seen a big change in the way that people are implementing these types of solutions. It's so much less about configuration and manual setup, and it's so much more about a system finding what's necessary to complete the job and involving the domain experts to make the decisions on where to go. We at CluedIn will continue to provide integration into the Microsoft ecosystem and outside of the Microsoft ecosystem as well. But for those that are Azure focused, we continue to be that native Microsoft Azure experience for bringing those native MDM and data quality capabilities. How this is shining through. Number one, obviously Microsoft Fabric is a big part of the data and analytics pieces of Microsoft. And to date, CluedIn integrates with all of these individual parts of Microsoft Fabric. We already have our Fabric workload where we are have many of our customers already running their cleaning and their deduplication on Spark. And this has opened up a new level of scale and performance on cleaning and deduplicating data at mass. And we are talking about in the tens, if not hundreds of millions of records with the speed you would expect from something like Spark. Over a year ago, if not a year and a half ago, we had the native integration into OneLake, providing a way to get data in and out of OneLake with simplicity and ease. And of course, we recently added support for open mirroring as well. One more way to easily get data into Fabric to be able to run your data and analytics workloads. But of course, a nice way to be able to proliferate your clean and beautiful data anywhere within your estate. Recently, we've also added support for the Microsoft Fabric user functions. I love these. Essentially, the ability to invoke serverless code from within CluedIn, offering even yet more extension points to be able to introduce your own custom logic and functionality. Now, of course, in our space, CluedIn operates under the banner of data governance. And with that in mind, we are continuously making sure for Microsoft Purview customers, we are best of breed with integration. This comes in the way we think about the integration between CluedIn and Microsoft Purview. Echoing on about our ethos that MDM is really about bringing the business and IT together, what was important in our integration with Microsoft Purview was always that we need to move some of the responsibility out of IT and engineering and give that power back to the business. Simple things like the integration, the ability to get data in and out of your MDM platform has been automated with our Microsoft Purview integration. Like AI, it's one of these moments where we get to work with our customers and we can see this smile on their face when they realize they've moved data from a legacy system into Microsoft Fabric and are starting to clean that data in a modern platform. And they did that all without IT intervention or help. Is one of those magical moments of why we've integrated with Microsoft Purview as well. We see it as our responsibility that everything that happens in the CluedIn platform is written back into Microsoft Purview, whether that is what rules ran on the data and what mappings we've done, what semantic modeling, what places we've shared the data, all of that is automatically tracked back in Microsoft Purview as well. In addition to this, being able to highlight parts of the platform where CluedIn can help, whether this is through the Microsoft Purview Health Actions, it's just one of the many ways that we are integrating nicely into the Microsoft ecosystem to provide that end-to-end data governance experience. Now, this is just a few of the Microsoft services that we integrate with. And I thought I would show you just a list of all of the integrations that we have into the Microsoft ecosystem, and just to reiterate the focus and the effort, and this is passed on to you as customers and partners, that we want to make sure that you are not the chief integration officer, rather that you are much more focused on the value. And this is why we provide integrations into things like Microsoft Dataverse, Power Automate, Power Apps, of course, Microsoft Purview, OneLake, Microsoft Fabric. But CluedIn is also built on top of some of the key elements of Microsoft infrastructure. Things like managed disks, things like the Azure Kubernetes service for scale and scale up and scale down, things like Azure Monitor for enterprise-grade logging, things like Azure Databricks for being able to bring in data and get data out for analytics use cases. But this list continues to grow, and I very much look forward to in 2026 for CluedInsight to come back and show you an even bigger list of Microsoft native integrations. Most notably today, and the most recent, include our Microsoft Fabric workload, our integration to Copilot Studio, which brings the capabilities of CluedIn into your Copilot, either within Microsoft 365 or within Microsoft Teams as well. In addition to this, we have our integrations into Azure AI Foundry, where you can really bring any model from last time I heard, 11,000 models that you get to choose from, including your own custom models, if you're wanting to use hosted AI models to run your workloads inside of CluedIn, or even fuel your Copilot or those agents. We've also made sure we do bring the support for those open source models to run inside of CluedIn for more, I guess, your long running tasks where you are wanting to make sure that you're running as cost efficiently as possible. And it opens up new opportunities to run large amounts of AI over large amounts of data as well. Of course, always integrating with your authentication and authorization via Microsoft Entra ID, meaning that you really have that command center to be able to have full control over the security and role-based access to your most important data. This list will continue to grow, but it's also one of the main reasons why people also choose CluedIn, is that native integration. And you can see here some of our customers and friends at Microsoft calling out the importance of how natively CluedIn fits into that Microsoft ecosystem and your full data estate as well. With that in mind, I want to thank you all for joining us at the 2025 CluedInsight. I, for one, am very excited about coming back next year and sharing what we've been able to achieve with you, our customers, with you, our partners, our friends at Microsoft, and the wider CluedIn community as well. And I wish you all a fantastic day.